Thank you so much for making so much time for us. Thank you. Thank you for everything. I don't know, I can't thank you enough. It's been such an experience working with you. And yeah, you are known at this side of the business, you're actually known as the lady who gives the best compliments. I don't know if we could find, I don't know if we could find a spot where we just have screenshots of that. But yeah, it's been really, really nice working with you. And in this chat, I just wanted to learn more about, we really admired the structure that you followed. We admired how you went about your program and how you're doing what you're doing. And we're thinking that, you know, we talk to a lot of clients, a lot of people that want to do a lot of things, and people could learn a lot from how you moved, how you're moving, and how you're planning to move in the future as well. So yeah, I just wanted to get that in there. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I just rushed from a class, you know, because in all of this I do teach.
Yes.
So yes. I had a 8:30 class, 2 periods just ended now. So I left 5 minutes or so before the class ended and rushed into my office. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for the time. I know firsthand how busy you are. Like, I know. So we appreciate this a lot. Yeah, I think I won't take up too much time. I'll just jump straight into it. I know I have a limited time. So in your own words, what would you say the College of Transfiguration is, and what are you trying to achieve? How was it? How did you come up with that?
Yeah, College of Transfiguration is a institution of higher learning, private institution of higher learning, dealing with religious education. It became College of Transfiguration in 1992. So before 1992, this campus that we are on in Grahamstown was known as St. Paul's. So I'm talking about 1993, that's when the new campus started of College of Transfiguration, which is an amalgamation of 3 other institutions of learning, theological colleges that the Anglican Church of Southern Africa had in Southern Africa. One was in Lesotho, one was in Mthatha, and then we had College of St Paul's in that. So when you look at, you know, our existence, you might think it's a very fairly new institution, but St. Paul has been in existence, I think, around 1906. Yeah. So theological education in Southern Africa in terms of the Anglicans goes as early as in the 1900s.
Wow, so rich history.
Yes, yeah. And we cater for men and women who are seeking ordination in the Anglican Church or any other what we call partner church in that. But again, we're finding more people who want to learn theology with no intention of being ordained. And I think for me, it's a wonderful balance because it reminds us that we are an institution of higher learning in most institutions. And our student population comes from South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, Lesotho, Swaziland, Namibia. We have gone as far as students from South Sudan and Haiti, and we have exchange programs throughout the world.
Wow, that is amazing. I think that's another reason why your story is so amazing, is because, well, it was amazing for us to work with you, not only because you are a religious organization, you're the first religious organization we've ever worked with, but you also are the first organization that's actually accredited by the Department of Higher Education. You're taking the steps that you're taking to make sure that things are in line. And I think there are a lot of lessons, and maybe what we love about the structure is because you are both these things. You follow structure and how you move and all these things. So what about you though? Like how did you get into this world? You seem very passionate about what you do. How did that come about?
It's something called vocation, calling, you know. When God wants you, wherever God wants you, doesn't matter how much you resist it, you're gonna end up where God wants you. So that's my story. I sensed a calling to the ordained when I was 16 years old. So it was a
Wow.
very awkward space as a Sowetan,
Yes.
when my peers were talking about other things, and I'm thinking, I want to go to church. I think I want to be a
Wow.
priest. So the first love, as I say, was law. I was determined to go and study law.
Okay.
So, and I'll say something of how things come full circle. And then I, was discerned to have a calling, and part of that is proper training and formation.
Yeah.
So in 1999, I was sent to study here in Grahamstown in this college. So it's not only where I live, but it's where I studied. Had my diploma, went back to Johannesburg to be given responsibility to lead parishes. So I worked in 8 parishes. You count Yeoville, Midrand, Ruby Ridge, Auckland Park, Soweto, Valdeferin Park. So it was really spread, and a wonderful, rich, experience of Johannesburg. I love home, and I was happy to be given that experience of that. But I continued to study because I knew that it was important for me not to be satisfied with diploma. There was something in me that said, this is not enough.
Yeah.
So I enrolled with University of Pretoria. So I did my BA honors with them. And my professor said, if you pass with distinction, you will get a bursary to study MA. So that's how I got to MA, because I love the thing that I can ace my studies and study for MA. So I did my MA, and he said, if you study that well, because we see that your trajectory is good, you might get funding. We might apply funding for you to do your PhD. So I was like, I never thought of PhD, but I said the challenge for me is that I want to get my PhD at 33. It was just a challenge. I'm going to work hard and get it at 33.
Yeah.
Because
that is crazy.
This is something that was not in my radar. So it is. Very going. So I did my PhD in 3 years, and I was working, having full-time responsibilities. And my thing is that I got it, in the boundary of 34 and 35. Yes. So I didn't quite get it at 32.
Very close. Very, very close.
very close. And I think just because for me, even it was 3 years immediately after master's.
Yeah.
One of the things one didn't realize that PhD was not going to be a master's. Master's was a year program. So PhD is not a year program. So I realized I was really unrealistic with the timeline that I'd given myself. So my professor says, you got it at the right time. You followed all the procedures. You did it in 3 years, immediately after your master's. So I don't know why you're such complaining about, not getting it at 30.
And wouldn't you say that the fact that you were so strict or unrealistic, it forced you, or it helped you focus and aim for it and have you complete it so soon anyway? Wouldn't you say that?
It was, for me, it was the opportunities that I saw education opening.
Yeah.
I realized that it is, things that I never thought of. I'm starting to think about. I'm starting to think of how I'm going to contribute in society and the church. And so that started being a motivator when I was in it. To say there are certain things I can contribute to life through education. There are certain rooms I might be allowed to sit in there and be part of the decision-making processes.
Yeah, that's something people don't think about.
And I'm just gonna say it's not just a title, it's a responsibility. And I took that responsibility of this title very seriously in that.
Wow, what a story. I think what I love about, especially the class that we have, is you guys have worked very hard to be where you're at. So anyone who's watching this, they shouldn't think that they'll just step up and be where all these people are. There's a lot of work that goes into this. That is an amazing story. Okay, I think I just want to jump straight into it. I love the energy. I want to talk about the leadership development program right now. I think it talks more about a lot about what you said, educating people who don't necessarily want to be ordained, but they want to learn certain things.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with that. What is the leadership development program? And then we'll talk more about it after.
Yeah. Leadership development program has been part of the Anglican Church for a long while. So it had had its own kind of incarnation. So this is another kind of incarnation. And it is a different one because I just realized that not everyone has the privilege of coming to our institution to study.
Yes.
So they might be missing out on important, information and formation of that. And there's an expectation to lead somehow. When you've gone through whatever qualification, you're going to be a team leader, you're going to be a manager, you're going to be a supervisor. That's leadership.
Yes.
In that. So in your field, and I was looking at our field of theology and church, how do we equip people to lead? Because there's an expectation that you're going to lead. And we had a wonderful course, and we still have it, called Theology and Development. So it's saying all the theory that you have about theology and what you're going to do, and put a development into whether it's a food garden, or whether it's structured development, or you need to have a basis of all this. And how do you do that? How we're exposing our students to that, but others are not exposed to. And so talking to partners, talking to friends, and talking to a friend who worked at an institution that they felt we might partner with you. So this is a church in New York called Trinity Wall Street. So it just tells you where it is and what's happening there.
Of course, we get it.
And they were putting what they call the core values, and one of them was leadership. And they were looking at partnering with institutions that were developing something in this. So they came in with another project, and when like this kind of conversation be like, we want to do what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Where you are. And so it was upon us to develop the concept, to do a plan, because they had the funding. But as you know, funders don't just give up their money for the sake of it. They need to be convinced that what you're doing is not only going to, go into your coffers and administration processes, but that people get to be developed.
Of course.
So the plan to our board at the college, the council, they gave it thumbs up and supported it. So we, applied for a grant, we got it, and then that's when you came in.
That's when we came in.
We have money. We can teach. How are we gonna do this?
When I think about the fact that you built this, maybe I think I should start with just the market research, right? The market research side of it, and then I'll give you the compliments and the flowers after that. How did you go about researching? And because when registrar approached me, he had an entire document that was full of research, facts. The fact that you guys went out and you did the work, and you know that there's a market, and you know A, B, C, D. How important was that for the development of this, and how did you go about it?
One thing, we didn't want to write only on our name. I've worked hard that the name of this institution has to be associated with quality and good reputation. So we knew that will work for us, but that's not enough. So for 2 years, I think 2018 and 2019, we hosted what we called clergy summer school autumn. It depended on where it fell on. And we had experts who would come in to talk on various topics, but the basket that held that was leadership in that. And as part of us talking and evaluation and our things that we got in that, we started realizing this is a niche market. This is what is needed. And we started now setting out a survey to what we call dioceses that sponsors. They, sponsor the student to come here in terms of, this is where we are thinking, what do you need? What do you want to see in that? We engage alumni, and alumni gave us feedback in that. We looked at other, what they call mainland churches, what they have, and we realized that this is a gap. So this is not only an Anglican thing. So we worked on that. We looked at other tertiary institutions. I had the benefit of studying at Gibbs and studying at Rhodes University Business School. And so, seeing, what that institution and our institution, factor into how leadership is important in business. Leadership is important. So being in those two business schools, I picked that up, and I just cannot say we can now adapt it to our context. That's why when the registrar approached you, there was a document ready.
To go. There were no questions. We knew what we had to do. We knew where not to go, what to. It was amazing. It was amazing. Okay. Well, whenever I tell my team about when we first started the project, and I was telling my team on having these debriefing sessions, I was like, we are constantly looking for new ways to empower African businesses. Just let them know that, listen, just because you specialize in this, or this is how you trade business, doesn't mean that it's the only way you can trade value. You could also do other things. You could share knowledge, and you could build an entire team and create jobs around that. And I called you guys like the penicillin story. I don't know if you know the story of how penicillin was discovered. It was meant to be one thing, and instead it became something that changed the world. It's something that that's how I looked at you guys. I think you did this thing with LDP. You went online, and before going online with us, you were doing so many things, and I feel like businesses could learn so much from just how you moved, how you did your market research, how you went online. How did you know that you wanted to go online the way that you went online? How did that come about?
COVID took us to online.
Okay. So initially this wasn't supposed to be an online thing.
No. We were going to, adapt the clergy schools and things to say, a term we'll have a week here and people come here, or we'll go to different regions, we'll bracket Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, we looked at that to say, we're gonna spend time in campus and out of campus. So as the three of us who are a team here, we were planning that during our holiday time, we won't have holidays. We will do these workshops in these regions. That's how sold we were. We're giving away our break time. Then COVID happened, and we were like, we cannot have this limit us. Everyone is online. We know we're teaching online. We're having meetings online. We're worshiping online. So we can do this project online. And we didn't know what we needed to, but we had an idea, and as the idea continued to develop, and I remember saying to you, this has to make sense to me first.
I remember those conversations.
Press this button and get what I expect on the other line, it's not going to work. In that. And so we built something that we didn't have a manual for. We were saying to you, Brandy, we want the colors to match our colors. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone, but it's like, we want this. We want this to open like this. And so, and it was a time factor, because already we knew that the grant, has been awarded, and we had said that we're going to start at this date, and we had to keep to that. And so that's how we got into it, that what we have here, these letters are going to be visual.
Okay. And how would you say going online affected your plans? Was it what you were hoping it would be?
We got more people now we didn't open it just to, we have a student online from Mauritius.
Yes.
We are having people who are holding full-time work. We're having students. We're having, students in other institutions, and young people in universities. We have people who haven't studied for a while now. So this is prompting them to start thinking of furthering their studies. So it has gone beyond the target market.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that for me is exciting. And as we now, are thinking of the second cohort.
Yes.
We're getting creative, and our creativity has shown in our report. We have to give 2 reports. It was a mid half-term report. So we gave that, and our final report will speak to, what the next project will be, even though we've already applied for the next project.
Yes.
But it will have synergy into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're saying to us, you can do more. This is when, you can do more. Start thinking outside of the box.
Yes. Yes. That's what's amazing about you guys. You offer so much value, so much, like a lot of value. And I think it's more value than the cost and whatever it is. I really love, well, I guess I'm going to have a session like this with Tonderai where we get more practical as how to advise businesses to do this. But the fact that each lesson, it has a plenary session, it has resources, the quizzes, Jonathan just goes in and he offers, like, it's an exciting thing that you guys built. So knowing what you know about what's possible now, would you advise other organizations, businesses to maybe try this out? Yes, no, why would you go about it that way?
Yeah, I think all of us have needs. And I think we start saying, this is a need, this is where we can develop. And suddenly we start thinking finance immediately. And then finance tells you we can't.
Yes.
And that becomes the end of the dream.
Yes.
In that.
Yes.
And I think for me is, and I think this is a testament of my life, is that I'm going to do it, finance will follow.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's a challenge of people who have to sign checks somewhere else because I'm God. You will follow with money because this is important.
Yes.
And as I say, the research tells us that this is important in that. So it's a personal philosophy, and again, it's a philosophy that I bring to work to say, when you really believe in it, when you put energy into it, when you speak positivity into it, I don't want to say I want to start something and see where it takes me. That is just not, that's not all. I'm not committing to whatever that I want to build. So I think that I'm going to start something and I'm going to equip people.
Yes.
There's an intention into that. I'm going to register for this course and I'm going to pass and graduate at, year whatever. That's an intention. I'm going to do that.
Wow.
So I think people who have ideas is to say, when you start rolling this in small bites, you might realize that it generates income. But in this world of social media and following and things, it expands your brand.
Yes.
People get to know and like, oh, this is, I thought that's what they did. So this is very interesting and different from what I perceived, and say, I want to see more what they do in that. And I think one of the things I say is that don't set up, high and lofty targets.
Yes.
Do minimum and immediate and see what comes up, and things will roll. So if we were saying to you, we want to build this, but we don't have students, we don't have a program. So as long as we have a platform, that wouldn't work.
Yes. Yeah.
That wouldn't work. So we said we know our target market. We have a curriculum already. So we have 3 months to build this because we have to do registration. How do we get our money? Beforehand. Before we get into class.
Yes. Yeah, to everybody watching this, these are the problems that we had to work around. These are the challenges that we had to go around, which in collaboration with the entire team of the college, I think it worked out perfectly. I love the ideas that I got from you guys. I love how everything just synced well. Yeah, and I love what you said just about how money, it wasn't a big deciding factor for you. You had a bigger mission. You had dreams that you wanted to achieve, and that was the fuel for you. So yeah, that's something that I think that would go a lot for people that want to try this out.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, when I was talking to you off air, is the reason why we're doing what we're doing with my business and the videos like this is because we are very much aware about what's happening in the country economically, issues. What do you think about what's going on, and what do you think the future looks like? I'll ask you how we should go about that after this question, but what do you think of what's going on?
Yeah. I think that South Africans were overwhelmed with so many things.
Yes.
And that makes us to be insular, to look inward. And I think the more you look inward, you realize kind of mess we are in that.
Yes.
And I think we need rays of hope. We need good stories.
Yes.
We need people to tell us that in this space where you find it, whether it's political, whether it's social, whether it's economical, whether it's just being you, that there's hope. I think we need those kind of encouragement in that.
Yeah.
And we want people with ideas, I think, to come up. I don't know how many stories we have heard of saying, don't tell people to go and study and be employed somewhere. Tell them to study so that they can be able to create employment for themselves.
Yes.
In that. So entrepreneurship is something that we need to be in the heart. It starts with one person, it starts with a, laptop or desktop somewhere, and we build up. And I think we need to hear stories of people who, even if they didn't succeed, but they started something.
Yes.
We need to ignite hope. As preachers, we need to be realistic in what we preached. God will provide, yes, when we do something.
Yes. Yes.
And I think for me is, looking at graduations, people graduating is a ray of hope for somebody else. Someone, or, overcoming obstacles, is that, you look at, is it Batu, the shoe manufacturer?
Yeah.
I think last week when he posted that he got another truck,
Wow.
and that means 2 more people employed, and I think the company is now 250. It might look minute, 1 truck, 2 people employed, but when you look in the bigger scheme of things, is that those people are how many people that they will benefit from.
Yes.
How many more of their product will reach people because of this truck. Yes. And one of the things that I love about them, because I bought a shoe from them. Listen, I'm in Grahamstown. Things take forever to get here. It was here within 3 days.
Wow. Because he built that.
So that for me is one of those inspiring stories. We shouldn't, congratulate you when you do good. But we need to congratulate others, even if we don't know them, because there's something of an inspiration.
Yes.
We need that inspiration.
Yes.
Our country will be good because we know there was a time when it was good.
Yes.
And we know what we did to be in that space.
Yes.
We have the tools. We can get there better. We can build better.
Yeah. Wow. I think you also answered the how that I wanted to ask afterwards. That was beautiful. And I think I'm actually going to clip that out. I'm going to play it across my team. I think that's what I would want us to achieve with this channel. Just highlight people like you, people like Theo Baloy and Inbaj, all these people that are doing inspirational things, just so that if someone is watching this from their room, they know that there are these opportunities that are available. Here's how I can go about doing it. I think you've just you put the nail in the coffin for me. Thank you so much. I don't want to take too much time. I know how busy you are, but I think you also touched on the fact that there'll be more short courses that you'll be dropping. Is it safe to hope for that?
And that's why when we're building the LMS, we were saying we want to do this not only for LDP, but again, our classes, because we didn't have a learning management system. We were using, someone else's learning management. Now we will migrate into our own, and then we'll be able to build more. So then, we're going to start thinking of issues of security, accessibility, and all those kind of things, because, we have done with this, it is working. Yeah. And so we know that it'd be easy to migrate what we have already doing online, though we are now back, we now do a hybrid of online and in person. I like in person because you can see and feel and hear people. But I know that students who are joining online with me doing that. So having our own LMS, it's a dream that I didn't even know that I needed to dream.
That makes me so happy. That makes me very, very, very happy. So if someone watching this and they want to sign up or maybe find a way to work with you guys, sign up for future programs, is there a way that they can follow you or keep up to date with what's going on?
Yeah, one will be, the registrar, you have the registrar email. So that's kind of inquiry, because we have to have we'll have a dedicated person to deal with this and answer this. It's easier than going from one person to the next. And our website, we try to work on that and kind of refresh and put things. And the college social media platform, College of Transfiguration, NPC.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tam. This was one of the best conversations I've had this year. I know.
You might jinx it for the one to come.
Very true, very true. But I learned a lot, and I hope the people watching this get a lot of value as well. Thank you so much. I think that will be it from me. Please enjoy the rest of your day. We'll continue coming through with more stuff for you guys, and we hope we keep growing together.
Yeah, and we'll recommend you in other spaces, because there are other platforms we want to enter in other spaces that we want to develop something there. So this is not ending here. This is creating kind of accessibility in other, organizations. In that. Yeah. Thank you so much, brother. Take care.
You too, man.
All right.